Yo, YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? Hope you guys having a great day, evening, night, whatever, morning, whenever you're watching this. Today, chat, we are going to tap in with new Rockstars video trailer breakdown on the Flash. If y'all ain't see it, y'all better go tap in with it. But I can't wait for this movie. Like this movie is literally my most anticipated movie of the year. Okay, I'm a big Flash guy. You know, I watch the show. Even though it's like ass now, but I watch the show and everything. I'm a big Flash guy, and Flash is my guy for real. So I can't wait for this movie.
New Rockstars, I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of the new trailer for The Flash, coming June 16th, a DC crossover event where things are gonna get nuts! I'm gonna break down this trailer frame by frame for all the Easter eggs and details that you might have missed. Let's get started.
I lost my parents. That pain made me who I am.
The trailer opens with the two Barry Allens walking up to Wayne Manor. Now, this is meant to evoke the house from the 1989 Tim Burton Batman and the 1992 Batman Returns with Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne. I just analyzed the 1989 Batman for the Deep Dive channel specifically to catch myself up for this movie, and I highly recommend you watch that analysis because we wouldn't have any of these superhero films without all the things that Michael Keaton Batman did so well. Now, quick reminder that this movie is adapting the 2011 Flashpoint event, in which Barry Allen wakes up to find himself in an altered, darkest timeline in which he has no powers, and Batman is a violent Thomas Wayne, father to Bruce Wayne. And Barry thinks that this timeline was altered by his nemesis, Reverse Flash Eobard Thawne, but later realizes it was really Barry's own doing in his attempt to go back in time to prevent his mother from being killed by Reverse Flash that caused all of this. This film will adapt this by instead starting with that choice, but rather than Barry warping into a new timeline and just assuming what his body would be in that timeline, movie Barry's Speed Force-enabled time travel has brought him into this side universe where he can meet his multiversal variant as a separate body. This is a timeline where his mother Nora did not die, and thus a timeline where Barry...
Well, no, not a different timeline. He's in a different universe where his doppelganger is still there.
Never acquired powers, and it seems like Batman is the Tim Burton era Michael Keaton, a universe that was technically Earth 89 in the DC multiverse. But this foggy estate with its towers and parapets is the same type of English country house as the Nebworth house that was used as Wayne Manor in 1989 Batman, but this is actually a different house. This is the Burghley house in Stamford, Lincolnshire in England. It's not exactly the same house. Then again, the Wayne Manor exterior did change between 1989 and the 1992 Batman Returns. It's never really the same outside design. I just love that it is foggy and gothic here because every other shot we see of Wayne Manor, it's so bright and so sunny, and I like my Batman draped in fog. We see Bruce Wayne's bruised fingers. Brucey Bruce. He's touched a photograph of him with his parents Thomas and Martha, and these bruises show how this Batman is still dancing the devil with pale moonlight, even at an older age. We see his empty workstation. It's gathering dust and cobwebs, and it looks similar to the way it did in the Burton era films, but he has definitely upgraded his screens to a more high-tech setup. One screen showing the curved body of the Batmobile, up top the Bat wing, and to the right his latest Bat suit. On the left side looks like some older audio equipment. It's not exactly this, but it is something that looks like that goofy CD player in Batman Returns where Bruce DJ'd the CD to play back Penguin's audio to embarrass him during his political speech. I would just love if we got a reference to that. Okay, on to the next clip.
I spent a lifetime trying to right the wrongs of the past.
Hey, get your dry skin.
As if fighting crime
Who was that supposed to be?
would bring my parents back.
Hold on, how many suits he got up in here, though? He got hella suits.
You actually did it.
He got hella suits,
Batwing lowers from the stalactites in the Batcave, hanging the way a bat does, and it's facing a waterfall. Now, I don't remember the Earth 89 Batcave having a waterfall like the Nolanverse Batcave did, and Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises, but again, this isn't quite the Earth 89 universe, it's just another universe in which Batman is Michael Keaton. We see a wider shot of Bruce opening this hidden door of the bookcase leading to the suit room. Before we get to that, it looks like the photo of him with his parents was the key that unlocked it, and above that, there is a photo of someone wearing armor. Remember, Bruce in the 1989 Batman film did collect suits of armor in his mansion, and beneath at the bottom, there is a black and white photo of an older generation of the family. But into this chamber, it contains 7 bat suits. From the left, it's a suit with gun holsters, maybe the year 1 or year 2 Keaton Batman, who would take lives. Back in the day in the comics, Batman would just kind of run around with gun, shooting people. Then next to that, a blue and gray suit with the 1989 emblem, the one with the feet at the bottom of the silhouette. Also notice it has more of a furrowed brow. I love that he's got a blue and gray suit, just one little way that this Batman and the Ben Affleck Batman in this movie are having some parallel thought. But then third from the left, that is the 1989 Batman suit. The cape is draped over the shoulders, and its chest emblem is damaged, as that emblem was at the end of that movie. You'll notice this cowl, as opposed to the one next to it, has more angular eyebrows that match Michael Keaton's face exactly, which is something very, very important to why that Batman was so successful, and I dove into that in the deep dive. Now, to the right of that in the back, the 1992 Batman Returns suit. You'll notice that has the updated chest emblem. Even though it was the logo and all the marketing, it was not the one he actually had on the suit in the 1989 film. That wasn't until the 1992 film. But then to the right of that, looks like a scuba bat suit. And then on the far right, looks like a desert terrain bat suit with goggles, like the ones Affleck Batman wore in the Nightmare sequence for Batman v Superman and in the Snyder Cut. But front and center is the Keaton bat suit of this movie. It's a refined design, incorporating the best elements of all the past iterations of the Keaton era. Angular eyebrows and a sharp nose on the cowl, the simpler chest emblem, the cape pushed to the sides of the shoulders, leaving the arms freer for combat. Because in that last trailer, when they break free Kara Zor-El, there's this awesome moment where she rushes in to bonk a Russian soldier to hell. That Batman was taking a swing and about to punch him in the face. So this Batman does not pull his punches. I'm super excited to see some action from him. And you notice that this utility belt isn't yellow, but more of a darker, practical one. That's a utility belt actually built for utility. Now, Bruce says that he fought crime to try to bring his parents back, but that Barry actually pulled it off, referring to Barry's success in timeline hopping in a reality where his parents are back. But that's not exactly his mom, is it? Interesting how Bruce has his hair cut short in this shot. Before he seemed to be like a Howard Hughes style shut-in with overgrown shaggy hair, reminding me of my favorite joke in The Simpsons.
We're too late!
I shouldn't have stopped for that haircut.
All right, let's move on.
I can't imagine what you've been through.
I love you, Monkey.
Bro, hold on.
You've been through.
I don't like. Look, man. I think this suit is tough. I just don't like the mask or the cowl, bro. I don't like
Parents
it. It just
in
look
one day.
weird. It was a mad weird to me, bro.
Okay, I think we're hearing the voice of Iris West, and she's reminding Barry of how he lost both of his parents, his mother when she was murdered, and his father, Henry, now played by Ron Livingston, replacing Billy Crudup from Justice League. Henry was framed for Nora's murder and imprisoned. We're kind of seeing some dual memories here. One Barry in a yellow shirt, reflecting the happy timeline, another in a blue shirt, representing the tragic memory of the day of Nora's death. The yellow shirt Barry, I'm thinking, is the Barry from the alternate timeline, who is often dressed in yellow, the one who never lost Nora. There is a Warner Easter egg here. The yellow shirt shows the Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated team. The early-aught Scooby-Doo movies were new DC head James Gunn's first franchise films, and on Warner-owned HBO, we got that Velma show everyone loves, and Scooby-Doo was just referenced in the recent episode of Succession.
Are you Scooby-Dooing me here? Is that where you went?
What?
Hanna-Barbera in business school.
Also, in Nora's kitchen, we see she composts because she was such a perfect person, and Henry screams, "Call 911!" And we see Nora went from looking at Barry to kissing Henry's neck in her dying breaths. Moving on.
I went back in time to save my parents.
Oh my god.
But instead, I completely broke the universe.
Okay, I love this shot of young Barry running out of the house as the sky rapidly shifts from day to night, showing how Barry's perception of the passage of time has been affected by the Speed Force. And we see what that looks like when he runs back in time, with fiery spears bursting outward and then subsiding, maybe each burst representing him passing through a new timeline. But you'll notice, before we cut to black, the last one bursts blue. This is a coloring of Barry's Speed Force from this point forward. They change it from yellow to blue in this movie, and that seems to be an important visual clue. Blue might be the color that his Speed Force takes in this alternate timeline, and a way to visually distinguish him from his other variant. And yeah, Ezra Miller is doing that same goofy run that they did in the Snyder Cut when Barry reversed time to save the Justice League. But you know what? Snyder's visual effects in that sequence were pretty incredible. Oscars band cheer moment of the year incredible? Maybe not, but you know, it was solid. Barry skids to a halt in front of the Battle of Metropolis from the 2019 Man of Steel film. In the prologue of the 2016 Batman v Superman, when Zod's world engine was in the process of terraforming Earth. Presumably, this would be in a reality without metahumans like Kal-El, so no one is here to stop Zod and save all these people. There's a weird shot here where one kid is walking toward the destruction, and behind him, there is somebody in a bizarre suit. That is definitely not the Barry we just saw. I'm wondering if this could be alternate Barry in a DIY suit. Something that's gonna fall apart immediately. What is he doing in the scene? Why does he think this suit will help him? I don't know, but he is a dumb idiot. So to do these breakdowns, I'm on my Mac constantly for work. And the last thing I need is a spinning beach ball of death slowing cool weather.
W-ad, man. Appreciate it. W-ad.
Let's move on.
If you went back and changed the
Get your bag, bro.
This world must die.
You changed the future.
Do you know what this symbol stands for?
Bro. Okay.
Do you know what this symbol stands for?
Lily was watching the trailer. She said, it stands for hope. Okay, y'all know it stands for hope. She's in there saying, "Oh, I didn't know hope starts with an S. Hope starts with an H actually." And she was dead serious, bro. She was dead serious. She was dead serious. I'm like, what?
Means hope, right?
Come on, baby.
Okay, Michael Shannon returning in this movie as General Zod. I still can't believe it. We see his Kryptonian armor, his face shielding. I think this is the same desert by the military base where we saw the Kryptonians when they took Kal-El in the 2013 film. But again, because Kal-El is not here, that close encounter is gonna get a lot deadlier. Then the shot of Gotham General Hospital collapsing. You can see Barry on that collapsing sidewalk right in front of it, and Martha Wayne Institute on the side of the building. Interestingly, there's an elevated train track on the street in front of it. This recalls the Chicago L train setting Christopher Nolan used for Gotham in The Dark Knight, a film that also featured a Gotham hospital imploding. Meanwhile, these angel statues have the dramatic Art Deco style that Gotham had in the Burton and Schumacher era.
But
it seems
the
like
fact
they're
that he
using
gets
elements
all
of
this
all
stuff is
different
crazy.
eras of Batman movies and kind of making a new version of Gotham and Metropolis with it. Then onto Supergirl. Kara Zor-El, Superman's cousin, played by Sasha Calle in this movie. She asks Barry what the symbol stands for and does not expect him to know the answer, but he says hope, calling back that moment with Superman and Lois Lane in the 2013 film.
that.
This is really the symbol of the Kryptonian House of El, of which Kara is also part of, but Kara in this movie seems to be playing the role of Kal-El in the Flashpoint comics, when Kal-El was kept in government custody and starved into this pale emaciated form, but is broken free to help Barry and Thomas. Now, in Man of Steel, Zack Snyder left one of those cryopods open on the Kryptonian ship and implied that his plan was for that to belong to Kal-El's cousin, Kara Zor-El. But notice, as Barry says, it means hope, right? The other Barry behind him is mouthing something else entirely. He's trying to answer the question, but likely having no idea what it stands for. Moving on.
I will help you fight Zod.
You want to get nuts?
I love this.
Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts. I love that.
Okay, Kara flies beside the jet, but then blasts forward supersonic, breaking the sound barrier the way Kal-El did in the 2013 film. Just love how that looks. But then Batman calls back his line to the Joker from the 1989 film.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on.
Let's get
nuts.
It's just kind of wild how self-aware this Bruce is, because that line wasn't really his catchphrase.
Love that, man.
That
This
whole
is a
moment
fire
was really
movie, bro.
Bruce
Y'all ain't see that,
angrily
y'all ain't
calling
see
out the Joker's performative insanity as someone actually going through a mental disorder. But the bats in this moment, interestingly, even seem to be playing along with Bruce's masquerade. But I think what's most interesting about this shot is that in the Super Bowl trailer, the ring of lights over the cowled Batman's head were mostly flickered out, because over the years he doesn't give a shit about upkeeping this Batcave. But here, in this shot, they are all lit and functioning, which might be showing how this Bruce has gotten this Batcave back online, maybe also foreshadowing an angelic halo in the event that this Batman might die in this movie. In the desert battlefield, the Batwing does a flyby as Barry, Kara, and the other Barry arrive, all matching each other's speed, but I like how the more experienced Barry knows to stay low like a speed skater, whereas Barry on the right leans back and he wobbles. And yeah, this other Barry suit looks ridiculous, but that's because it is a modified bat suit. The 1992 era, it looks like it's been spray painted red with the yellow bolt icon. The ears of the cowl have been shaven down to nubs for wind resistance, I suppose, and it's got some knee pads. Let's move on.
I have to undo what I did.
These scars we have make us who we are.
Now what is he gonna? Now what is he gonna do? I don't know.
Don't let your tragedy define you.
Batman flies the two Barrys in the Batwing to the snowy mountain region, presumably the base where Kara Zor-El is being kept, leading to her breakout that we saw in the first trailer. Remember, in that footage, she was wearing some prison garb that had Russian lettering. These words translate to the most dangerous. We see a few photos of the Allen family, including a photo booth strip of young Barry making monkey faces, perhaps connected to Nora's nickname for him, Monkey. This looks like it's part of a sequence where Barry speeds past his loved ones in this other timeline to just grab a few milliseconds with them. But notice, as soon as the tear leaves his eye, it falls at a slower speed of gravity than it would, because he is moving faster than the speed of gravity would tug that tear down. There's this mysterious shot of Barry touching a limp, charred hand. This could be the other Barry after he electrifies Speed Force powers into his body in the Batcave that we see later in the trailer. This also might be connected to when Kara Zor-El flies him up into the heavens, maybe to get defibrillated by a bolt of lightning. It's interesting how Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne has similar advice to Barry as what Michael Keaton Bruce said. He says, "The scars we have make us who we are. We're not meant to go back and fix them. Don't let your tragedy define you." So while Michael Keaton Bruce allowed his tragedy to define him, Ben Affleck Bruce doesn't want that for Barry. I think that's the key difference between these Batmen. Affleck's Batman had to learn to work with others in the Justice League, whereas Keaton's lived mostly in solitude. On to the next clip. Okay, more of this desert battle. We see two Kryptonian ships slamming into each other. Notice the tow cables and that bat wing flying overhead. Looks like Batman lassoed these into each other. Kara is pissed at Zod, screaming, "What did you do?" I don't know, maybe he killed Kal-El in this reality? She hammers away at his helmet with a pipe. Keaton Bruce protects Barry from machine gun fire, but notice the impact those shots take on him. This old man cannot do it forever. We see Barry running up the side of a collapsing building, which now realizes probably that man cannot do it forever. We see Barry
he finna butt, really? Really?
Running up the side of a collapsing building, which now realizes probably that cannot do it forever. We see Barry.
I'm gonna flip out in a movie theater. Chat, bro. This is like literally. I'm so excited for this movie, bro. Like I haven't been this excited for a movie since like Batman came out last year. I was so excited for that, and it did not disappoint. And I'm always seeing the reviews for this shit, and this shit look crazy. Like, bro.
Running up the side of a collapsing building, which now realizes probably that collapsing facade of Gotham General Hospital. I assume we're gonna see him say.
Can I say waffle okay, bitch? Is for my song outro. What? What does that mean, bro?
A lot of alien patients. Moving on.
No matter what we do, we're not going to be able to fix this. No! Nobody dies!
After Advil.
Back to her. Ben Affleck Batman looks great in all these shots. He gets attacked with an RPG and rolls out of that fireball. Not sure how he survives this or how he's gliding, but looks like from the moment Batfleck's gonna drop out of that jet on the motorcycle, and then from the other trailer, skiing from cables, this guy is not gonna stop moving at any point in the sequence. It's just gonna be like one continuous drive. But here we might be seeing a wedge point between the Barrys. Our Barry says, no matter what we do, we're not gonna be able to fix this. And the other Barry angrily says, no, nobody dies. The two of them look like they're in some orange-colored vortex. It's actually kind of similar to the bubble that was formed when Barry ran through the time stream earlier in this trailer. It's possible that their actions will lead to deaths of others in other Barry's family. Maybe the death of Keaton Batman. And then other Barry will turn against our Barry for the final act of this movie and maybe become a form of Reverse Flash. And that's why he's dressed in yellow throughout this movie. Keaton Batman kneels in defeat in the desert battle. Similar to Kara in the earlier shot, behind Batman, army soldiers are in retreat. But then there's a quick shot of another mystery speedster in dark armor, looks Kryptonian. I think this might be the Dark Flash that's been teased in merch, and Zod may have found a way to neutralize these Barrys with a Kryptonian speedster of his own. He leaps onto Keaton Batman's bat wing and punches through that canopy, just like the Kryptonians do to those jet pilots in the 2013 Man of Steel. But Batman ejects. He bumps into the side of the jet on the way out. We know this jet will crash due to its wrecked fuselage in the poster, but as he glides, you can see his cape's ribbon going rigid to turn the cape into a practical sail. Our man is hang gliding. I love it. Below, the ground is marked 36 and C for this military base landing zone. On to the last bit.
You're strapped to your parachutes.
And where's yours?
Don't need one.
I love it. The logos for Keaton Batman, Affleck Batman, Superman emblem, and finally the Flash Bolt all layer over each other because let's be real, this is as much a Batman story as it is a Flash story. Yeah. Batman drops the two Barrys over this mountain base, and as Batman skydives, the Batwing forms the bat signal in the light of the full moon, recreating Tim Burton's iconic shot from the 1989 film. Now, this movie is being billed as the ultimate DC crossover event to look back at the interesting history of DC cinema. That's probably going to include other cameos these trailers haven't shown us yet. Maybe a George Clooney Batman, maybe a Christian Bale Batman, probably not Val Kilmer Batman, given Val Kilmer's health condition, maybe Keanu Reeves Constantine. But spoiler warning, in case this ends up being accurate, the Scooper Troopers out there are claiming that Nicolas Cage might appear as Superman fighting a giant robot spider.
I don't know.
Which would be a throwback to Kevin Smith's story about when he was developing Superman Lives with producer John Peters, and Peters had all these insane rules about Superman, including the fact that Superman had to fight a giant robot spider, and then a few years after Kevin Smith left this project, that ended up being the final act of John Peters' produced Wild Wild West. If this ends up being the case, it sounds like it'll show up as a brief sighting during like a multiverse montage, but this desert location is exactly where you can imagine a giant robot spider appearing. John Peters, by the way, fascinating Hollywood figure, Barbra Streisand's hairdresser, turned brief lover, turned into major Hollywood producer, somehow attached to every Batman and Superman movie for decades. He's actually who Bradley Cooper's character in Licorice Pizza is based on. I really need to do a deep dive on how every character you see in movies is based on some creepy Hollywood figure, like Jesse Eisenberg's weird take on Lex Luthor, his impression of Max Landis. Hey, a reminder to subscribe to our deep dive channel, where we're in the middle of a rewatch of Guardians of the Galaxy, and you can support me doing these deeper investigations.
Nice, man. Shout out to new Rockstars, bro. They always know their shit for real. Big shout out to new Rockstars, man. Bye, YouTube.